What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap. Bryce Harper, he's on a Ruthian tear as of late. He's got like 10 RBIs over the last 72 hours. Max Muncy, too. He cannot be stopped right now. Paul Goldschmidt, he's been stopped dead in his tracks. He looks straight up cooked and washed up. We're hoping that he can turn things around, just like Corbin Carroll, who finally broke out and had his biggest game in quite some time. All of that and more in today's MLB Recap. We recap every single game, every single day, so join the team. We're so close to 500,000. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off your entire purchase, and my code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy will get new users up to a $100 deposit match. Don't miss out. So the first thing we have to talk about, a breaking trade just happened over the last hour. Robbie Grossman, he is heading back to the Rangers. We know that he was there last year. He had 33 extra base hits and a 101 OPS plus, so he was pretty good for them. He goes to the White Sox and it becomes a shell of himself. He was hitting 211 with a 74 OPS plus at the time of the trade, so change was needed. He's going back to the Rangers in exchange for this guy. I'm definitely going to botch his name, so I'm not going to say it. I got to show off this Mets and Cardinals game first because there was some controversy involving Wilson Contreras. Brendan Donovan, he kickstarted things with a leadoff home run. A second run scores after Arenado just missed a home run. He gets a sac fly. The Cardinals made it 3-0 after Burleson had an RBI knock, and here's the controversy. JD Martinez, he hit Wilson Contreras on the forward swing. It wasn't even like it was on the backswing. The Cardinals basically forced Wilson to crouch much closer to the plate because they wanted to steal or frame pitches lower in the zone. Combine that with JD basically being in the back of the box. This was bound to happen. He's going to be out for a while because he fractured his arm. To me, that's just analytics doing way too much. You're putting your player literally in harm's way. I'm hoping that Wilson comes back speedy. I hope it's a speedy recovery. St. Louis is still up by 3 when Brandon Nimmo made a dive and grab to rob Gorman. I combined Nolan and Gorman. Nimmo just refuses to let up. He goes 100 out of 100 on every single play. This 3-run home run ties things up. That's 5 home runs and 25 RBIs for Brandon. Lindor, he was put in motion for Pete Alonso, and the hit and run worked. That's a go-ahead double. The Mets steal the lead in the blink of an eye. JD Martinez, he added to it. That's 7 hits in 1 inning for New York. Burleson, he got it back to a 2-run deficit on his 3rd of the year. But Pete Alonso stole that run right back. He's up to 9 home runs, so that's $9,000 to animal shelters. Newbar, he launched a home run as well. Maybe there's a St. Louis comeback, and 2 are on for Goldie. And what in God's holy name was that swing? Is Paul Goldschmidt okay? Ottavino, he then got Burleson to chase on a fastball away, so maybe Ottavino is just that nasty. I don't know. Paul Goldschmidt, he's barely hitting 200 right now, and that swing was very worrisome. It looks like he's just guessing. Shota Imanaga came in with the lowest ERA in baseball, and it's about to get even lower. He got Machado swinging, and there's Belly swinging. He's back in the lineup, and he goes yard, and we might have to start calling Shota Imanaga shutout Shota or something like that because he strikes out Tatis, then Cronenworth, then Machado again. He got into a little bit of trouble in the 6th, but down goes Manny for the 3rd time. Now, he's not out of it. Xander, he's up, but he got him too. Shota, he escapes a big jam. He's through 6 scoreless. The Cubs, they wanted to see if Shota could go 8. That's a base hit from Luis Ariz, and that's also a base hit, but it's a much longer one. Profar now has 27 RBIs after hitting a 6 home run. San Diego is trying again. Xander, he dunked one to shallow right, but Nico made an insane play to rob him. We have another great play coming up, but real quick, we have to show Nico Horner's sac fly because now everything is knotted up at 2 runs apiece. Maybe not for too long. Azokar, he jolted one, but Ian Happy covered a ton of ground. He grabs and he saves a run. The Padres, they were held scoreless in the 9th, so Chicago, they're going to get their chance at a walk-off ball game. Michael Busch, he says goodnight on a 7th home run. It was raining. It was really fun. He was hitting 197 with 0 home runs over his last 18 games, so hopefully that wakes him up. Let's see if the Dodgers can put even more distance between them and the 2nd place Padres. Yamamoto, he's been cooking, and on the first pitch of the game, Jazz Chisholm Jr., he went yard. Could you imagine if Jazz went to the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Braves, something like that? He's got so much flair. LA, they got that run right back 4 seconds later, but like not just 1 run, they got 4 runs on 1 swing. Max Muncy, he's been on a power tear lately. 4 home runs and 8 RBIs over his last 3 games. He's also playing great defense. 2 DRS and 1 outs above average. This is really cool. Gavin Lux, he's hitting 290 with a 350 on base percentage over his last 7 games, so he goes yard for the first time on the same day that Michael Busch hits a walk-off. Nature is healing. Gavin Lux might finally be back. Brian De La Cruz, he's enjoying a little breakout season with the bat. That's his 7th home run. He also has 20 RBIs and 8 doubles. Yamamoto, he gave up 2 solo shots, but he ended up going 8 innings. He punched out 5. He got some revenge against De La Cruz to complete his gem. He has a 1.7 ERA since his debut in Korea. If you're not sitting down, you might want to, because this next sentence can make a grown man fall to his knees at Walmart. Corbin Carroll might be back. I know the first clip wasn't great. That's an RBI ground out, but wait for it. Here's Corbin again. This time it's an RBI base hit. Frankie Montas was looking unhittable, but his defense just couldn't really help him out. Only one of his runs were earned. Okay, look who it is again. Corbin, he's up with 2. He tomahawked it. His second tater of the year gives him a 5 RBI game. By the way, this was his first game back in the leadoff spot in quite some time. Marte, he got a hold of one as well. He makes it back-to-back. Ketel's hitting .303 with 7 home runs and a stupid 2.5 WAR already. Corbin wants to show off the leather now. It's back, and it just barely got out. Jonathan India, he goes yard, and so did Tyler Stevenson. By the way, if those 2 Cincy runs came late in the game, who started? Oh, Zach frickin' Gallen. He went 6 shutout with 6 more strikeouts on just 1 base hit allowed. He is a bona fide ace, and it's good to see him out there after his scare last week. He got pulled from the game early, but he's back, and he's looking good. All right, you guys might have to bear with me in this game. 23 runs total were scored in this next game. I can't really show everything. Marcus Semien, he pulled a Jazz Chisholm. He went yard on the first pitch of the game. Leote got a rally going in the second. He singles in 1. Simeon's up again, and now he's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. The A's did not help themselves out at all. An error from J.D. Davis allowed 1 more to score, and after Adolis took a walk with the bases loaded to make it 5-0, Josh Smith, he got the single streak going again. The A's were basically using Ross Stripling as an automatic pitch thrower because they said, hey, you got to save the bullpen, my guy, even if you give up 900. Jonah Heim had an RBI single, Leote's second RBI single of the second, and then Marcus Semien, he also had 2 RBI knocks in 1 inning, this time on a 2-run laser beam double down the left field line. So if you're keeping track, he's a triple away from the cycle after 2 innings. Semien, he grabbed his 4th hit in the 4th. He's not going to get a cycle in this one, but another RBI. The bases are juiced for Nathaniel Lowe, and there's another 2-bagger to left field. 2 more runs score. Adolis, his sac fly made it a 15 spot. Now, I will say Kyle McCann and Seth Brown both hit home runs, so they got it to 8 runs, but just not good enough. The A's get beat by the Rangers 15-8. Before we show Verlander getting embarrassed by the Yankees, the 2-timer Bryce Harper, he went crazy versus the Jays. Now, before we show that, his teammates did some damage as well. Castellanos, he's slowly but surely getting better as the season ages. Harper scores. The broadcast completely jinxed Jose Barrios. They showed that he's basically been unhittable versus lefties, and then this happened. Cody Clemens, a lefty, he yanked a 2-run blast. By the way, he's using Bryce Harper's bat. There's Bryce saying, that's my bat. His bat has to have magical powers because Clemens, he legged down RBI triple later in the 4th. Listen, if Kevin Kiermaier can't catch that, no one can. So Harper's bat has a 2-run home run and an RBI triple, and now at a grand slam. This time it's actually Bryce swinging. That's his 2nd grand slam this year, his 8th of his career. He also has a home run in 3 straight games. He has 10 RBIs over the last 72 hours. Christopher Sanchez, he was great again. He went 7 innings of 1-run ball. Stott and Sosa, they turned a sick double play to wrap things up. The Phillies, they're 26-11. They've won 7 games in a row. Kyle Tucker started this game off with a bang. He's officially in the double-digit home run club. That's his 10th. But like I said, JV got embarrassed. Verdugo, my goodness, bro. Not often do you see a guy pimp one that much off a future Hall of Famer in Justin Verlander. Verdugo delivered again with an RBI single in the 3rd, so he matches a career high with 4 RBIs. 2023 Anthony Volpe, he does not do this, at least in my opinion. He really beefed up over the offseason, and after that 2-run home run, he's got 4 home runs, 7 stolen bases, and an insane 5 outs above average defensively already. Soto had a big day as well. He was spraying baseballs everywhere off of JV. He went 3 for 3 off the future Hall of Famer. Now, speaking of future Hall of Famers, can Stanton make it? That's his 7th home run of the year. He now has 409 career home runs. So if he gets to 500, is he going to make it? Verdugo's big game continued with a web gem to get Luis Gil through 6 frames. Luis Gil has a 2.9 ERA. Like, they literally kept their best pitching prospect in the Juan Soto trade. That's crazy. Judge finally got in on the fun. His RBI single made it 8-1. He's so strong that he can get fooled and still have it go his way. John Birdie, that's an RBI single with the bases loaded, just off of Singleton's glove. They ended up with 10 after a Volpe ground out, but I'm not going to show it. Once Garrett Cole comes back and they add a starting pitcher at the deadline, watch out for the Yankees. You know how Alex Verdugo just had his breakout game? Kevin Pillar also had a breakout game for the Angels. I didn't even know that he was on the Halos. That's a 3-run blast on a 2-0 count. Quinn Priester of the Pirates has already allowed 6 home runs this year. Pillar smoked a ground ball later in the 5th, so you know that ball was hit hard if Cabrian Hayes could not field it cleanly. Pillar has 4 RBIs on the day. Ohapi, he got 1 more in. He split that third base and shortstop gap. Willie Calhoun barrels in to score. We skip to the 6th inning where Nolan Shanuel, he added another run. Nolan now has 3 multi-hit games already to start the month of May. Kevin Pillar, he now has a multi-home run game. That's 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. I lied. He now has 6 RBIs after that double in the 8th inning, a new career high with 6 RBIs. The Halos win big, 9-0, and I just can't move on yet because where was this last year? Patrick Sandoval, he turned in his best start, at least in my opinion, since the WBC. He carved his way through 7 scoreless on just 3 base hits allowed. He also racked up 7 strikeouts with 71 pitches out of 103 going for strikes. Keep this up, please. We had a fun roller coaster game down in Minnesota. Mitch Haniger sent one to the second deck off of Bailey Ober. Dylan Moore, he almost went yard as well, but he settles for a long RBI double. Moore now has a 115 OPS plus and 4 defensive run saves. Emerson Hancock, he quickly gave the lead away. Larnack, he's got some fast hands. He turns on the 96 inside. He plates 1, and then Ryan Jeffers, he plates 3. This dude's no joke. He's basically Mitch Garver 2.0. He's got 7 home runs and 26 RBIs. He's also basically hitting 300 as well. Minnesota, they got themselves into a little bit of trouble in the 7th. Baldelli, he brought in the wrong guy. They wanted Cal as a righty, and it did not work at all. That is a pinch hit grand slam. He ties Ken Phillips for the most pinch hit home runs by a Mariner ever. He now has 9 home runs on the season after going 445. The Twins, they would not go away. They were like that annoying little summer gnat when you're at the pool and you just want to eat your sandwich, but it won't leave you alone. Farmer made it a 1-run game, and the sequence you're about to watch is a big bummer because Austin Martin, he put it in play. Kepler moves to third, but Martin, he's safe at first because Saucedo, he's down. He's really hurt, and because he has the ball and the umpires did not stop the play, Kepler could just basically walk home, so it's now a tie ball game. Apparently, it was a knee issue. I hope that Saucedo is going to be all right. The Mariners have their pitchers back. They went on to score 4 runs in the 9th inning. The baseball gods wanted to make sure that they knew, like, that wasn't cool. Josh Rojas had an RBI single. Mitch Haniger with the sac fly. Rojas then scored on a wild pitch, and Ty France, he knocked in their 10th run. Again, hopefully Saucedo is not out for the year. Prayers up to him. The Mariners, they win 10-6. Another roller coaster game for you guys. This one took a lot of years off my life, but if you ever see Detroit playing Cleveland, put all of your money on this one guy. Andy Ibanez is a free money glitch anytime he plays the Guardians. That's his first home run of the year. Back-to-back games that the Tigers have a leadoff home run. Will Brennan, he stole the lead on a 2-run double. He's hitting 305 with a near 900 OPS over the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, though, it really didn't mean anything for Logan Allen. A leadoff double from Jake Rogers turned into an RBI for Javier Baez. Javi then stole second. He ended up at third base, and Matt Vierling, he took a walk after some awful pitches. And Andy Ibanez goes yard again. He's now hitting 441 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs in 17 games versus Cleveland. Like I said, though, this was a roller coaster game. Florial and J-Ram, they knocked in 3. Florial on an RBI double, J-Ram on a 2-run single. It's tied at 5. Josh Naylor went way out. He pimped it. That's 9 home runs and 28 RBIs, so he's matching Bryce Harper numbers at first base. But Logan Allen, he's still out there. Torkelson, he got on after J-Ram just let it go past them. So 2 ducks on a pond. And the rookie Ryan Vlad, or how do you say his name? Vlade, I don't know. Either way, his first career base hit makes it 7-7. Matt Vierling stole the lead back on a double play, but I mean, I'm just going to show Jake Rogers. He got another double after Florial dropped it. He scores seconds later. Ryan Vlade, the rookie, had another RBI. He made his debut in 2021, went 0 for 6. He toiled in the minors for 3 years, but he's back. It's cool to see. Andy Ibanez secured his first 4-hit game. That set up a 2-run inning for the Tigers. Winsel Perez, he got on, and both guys scored on Matt Vierling's 2-run single. The Tigers' bullpen is insane. They went 7 shutout to close this out. That bullpen is sick. One more back and forth coming at you guys. Rhys Hoskins and Joey Ortiz. They heard that Seth Lugo never allows home runs, and they said, are you sure about that? They go back to back. Milwaukee starter Colin Ray, he went 4 shutout when Kyle Isbell cracked the code. His single made it 2-1, and this stays in, but Vinny Pasquantino steals the lead on a 2-run double. Bobby scores all the way from first. They call Vinny the Sasquatch, so naturally there's a Sasquatch out there. The Royals kept pouring it on. Vinny, he scores on an RBI double off the bat of Salvi. That's his 31st RBI already. But here comes the Brewers. Andrew Monasterio, that's his first hit of the year. He makes it a 1-run game. The Royals, they knew that they needed more. Bobby, he turned on the Jets. He stole his 13th bag, and Vinny almost took the pitcher's soul on that comebacker. So the Royals now can deploy General James MacArthur, their closer, and that's a base hit to William Contreras. He then walks Scary Gary to a run for Willy Adames, and he called it. So he told fans right before this happened that he was going to hit a 3-run home run, and he did. So out of nowhere, MacArthur has blown back-to-back games. Baseball will really humble you. Willy Adames, he's not just clutch with the stick. He ends the game with the web gem. Trevor McGill now has 3 saves on the year as the Brewers win a fun one, 6-5. Remember how I said Salvi's at 31 home runs? That's just behind Alec Boehm and Marcell Ozuna. We're going to show Ozuna in just a second because we got to show Kelnick going yard off the disgusting Cutter Crawford. That's a 2-run blast, his first as a Brave. Now, the Red Sox have a glitch in their own right. Jarren Duran, he is so fast. It literally looks like he's about to travel through a wormhole. He moves that fast. That is his MLB best 6th triple of the year. Ronaldo Lopez locked in after that triple. He got Devers the chase and then got O'Neal swinging as well. He's going to have to lock in again later on, but he walks Reese McGuire, so his day is done. Aaron Bummer, he's out there. He got a ground ball, but it hit him, so it probably would have been a double play if it didn't hit his leg. The game's tied at 2. Bummer, he clutched up and got 2 consecutive strikeouts. That one was Rafael Devers. Boston, they're threatening again in the 8th. Adam Duvall is going to get on his horse, and he saves the game. The sliding catch keeps it tied. Now we can talk about Ozuna. His RBI single gives him 34 RBIs, and Orlando Arcia knocked home another on a ground ball. It was a weird throw to second base. I don't even know who caught it. Raisel Iglesias had a 1-2-3 9th inning for his 9th save. He has a 1.96 ERA and 43 saves as a Brave. He's 1 away from 200 saves for his career. Here we go, the White Sox and the Rays. Handsome Harold drove in Tampa's first run of the day, and skipping to the 3rd, Mike Soroka. Buddy. He left a hanging slider to Randy Arozarena. I straight up thought that ball went 500 feet, but it actually just barely left. Randy's got 6 home runs. Things are really clicking for him ever since he put on the brand new uniform. And wait, hold on. Is that Richie Palacios, the outfielder, making web gems at second base? How do the Rays keep on doing this? Isaac Paredes, he was kind of like the first guy that really showed off the Rays' voodoo magic. He went yard off the former Royal Brad Keller. He's got 8 home runs. That was on pitch 9 of the at-bat, by the way. I'll show this Paul DeJong home run because that's all Chicago could muster. Eflin, he's been a workhorse. He's already at 48 pitches after the 7-inning gem. The Rays, they are now a perfect 5-0 in the City Connects. They should never take off this uniform or even wash it. Just keep it going. Corbin Burns is one of the slowest pitchers in baseball throwing the home when there's a runner on first base, so Winker gets an easy stolen base. Runners are now 11 of 13 when trying to steal off of Burns, and he scores. Meneses put it in play. That jump let Jesse score easy. Trevor Williams, he was frying the Orioles on the bump. He went 5 shutout. He left with a career-high 8 strikeouts. He also did not walk anyone. Eddie Rosario, he made it 2-0, and what do? They immediately steal second base to put themselves in scoring position again. Trey Lipscomb, he took advantage and he plated Eddie Rosario. These runs probably don't score if Corbin is just a little bit quicker to the plate. Kyle Finnegan, he struck out Ryan O'Hearn in the 9th, and then O'Hearn got tossed. Then the manager of the Orioles, Brandon Hyde, he got tossed as well. Finnegan now has 12 saves. He gets the Nationals to a 500 record for the first time since 2021. The Rockies experienced MLB The Show in real life yesterday. Nick Ahmed and Jung-Hoo Lee, they were both blessed by the baseball gods. They both got RBIs on squibblers. Make it another ball that was maybe hit 30 to 45 miles an hour. I don't know. Finally, a hard hit. Lamont Wade Jr. drove in 2 more. It's 4-0. Michael Conforto made it 5-zip, and Kyle Harrison, he got through 6 shutout on 86 pitches. This was an easy game. Ryan Walker replaced Kyle Harrison. He's nasty. He throws with that little sidearm action. He struck out the side in the 8th. Then Camilo Doval, he came in for the 9th. Tyro Estrada with the Jeter-like play at second base. He then gets Stallings on 99 paint, and he struck out Montero to end it. That's the recap. I know I went a little bit quicker, but my pool heater went out, so I'm a little bit stressed. Anyways, that's a different story for a different day. I'm going to go try and get that covered, but thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the web gems.